Alex's boots crunched against the red dust of the distant planet, its terrain unlike anything he had ever seen. Jagged cliffs stretched into the sky like the teeth of some enormous beast, while rivers of shimmering liquid weaved across the valleys. The planet had been recently discovered, and as one of the first humans to set foot here, Alex felt both excitement and caution. Every step he took was a mixture of thrill and responsibility. After all, the mission was simple in principle: explore, document, and ensure safety. But reality was always more complicated. Alex's eyes scanned the horizon, taking in the strange towering structures in the distance. They looked almost organic, like huge trees with metallic bark. The patterns of the buildings curved gracefully, as if they had grown rather than been built. Something about them was oddly familiar, yet undeniably alien. He adjusted his visor and activated his translation device, hoping it would detect any life signs nearby. The city seemed quiet. Too quiet, perhaps. As he approached cautiously, Alex noticed movement near one of the larger structures. A figure, tall and slender, darted between the structures with agility that seemed almost unnatural. The closer he got, the more he realized it was not human. The being had smooth, pale blue skin that shimmered faintly in the sunlight and hair like silver threads that caught the light as it moved. Its eyes were large, almond-shaped, and glowed faintly with a color Alex couldn't describe. The figure froze, and Alex instinctively slowed down. Suddenly, a mechanical hum filled the air. A floating vehicle of some kind lost control, skidding toward the figure. Without thinking, Alex sprinted forward, adrenaline surging. He reached the alien just in time, grabbing her by the arm and yanking her out of the way. The vehicle skidded past, hitting a nearby wall with a loud crash. Dust and sparks filled the air, and for a moment everything seemed to hang in suspense. The alien looked at him wide-eyed and slightly shocked, and then slowly relaxed. "Thank you," she said in a melodic voice which Alex's translator device instantly converted to English. I do not know what would have happened if you were not here." Alex wiped the sweat from his brow and managed a nervous smile. "No problem, I'm just glad you're okay." He took a moment to study her more carefully. She appeared young, perhaps in her equivalent of late teens or early 20s. Her clothing was elegant but practical, a combination of flowing fabrics and metallic accents that seemed designed for both style and utility. "My name is Lyra," she said, bowing slightly. "I am the princess of this city." Alex's eyebrows shot up. "Princess?" he repeated, surprised. He had expected alien scientists, soldiers, or explorers, but royalty? I'm Alex. I'm a human. Part of the exploration team." Lyra tilted her head, studying him with curiosity. "A human?" she repeated. "I have heard of your kind, but I have never met one before. You are different from what I imagined." Alex chuckled nervously, unsure if he should feel flattered or embarrassed. "Well, I hope it's a good different." Lyra's lips curved into a small smile. "It is refreshing." After a tense moment, she gestured toward the city. "You should come with me. You have saved my life, and it would be impolite not to offer you hospitality. Our palace awaits." Alex hesitated. Part of him wanted to politely decline. He had no idea what kind of political consequences could arise from entering an alien palace. But another part of him, the part that always craved adventure, urged him forward. He nodded. Thank you. I would be honored." Lyra led him through the winding streets of the alien city. Despite its silence, the architecture was breathtaking. Buildings spiraled like shells, their surfaces etched with strange symbols that pulsed faintly with light. Alex could see gardens suspended in mid-air, connected by glowing bridges. The city was alive in a way he had never experienced, as if it had a consciousness of its own. As they walked, Lyra spoke of her people. She told Alex about their culture, their love for knowledge, and their emphasis on harmony with technology. Humans, she explained, often relied on brute force, whereas her people preferred subtlety and balance. Alex listened intently, fascinated by her words. He shared stories of Earth, of human ingenuity, and the way humans overcame obstacles with creativity and courage. "You are brave," Lyra said finally, her gaze softening. "And you think differently than others. It is admirable." Alex felt a warmth spread across his chest. Compliments from royalty were rare, and from an alien princess even rarer. "Thanks," he said. "I guess we all do what we can to survive and help." Lyra's eyes sparkled. "You do not just survive. You act. That is unusual." Perhaps humans are not as weak as we were told. They arrived at the palace, a massive structure that seemed to grow naturally from the ground. Its surface shimmered like liquid metal, reflecting the sky and the alien gardens around it. Guards flanked the entrance, but they did not raise their weapons. Lyra simply spoke, and they stepped aside. Inside, the palace was even more extraordinary. Light filtered through translucent walls, casting patterns across the floor that shifted as if alive. Floating platforms carried people and objects effortlessly from one room to another. Strange, beautiful instruments played melodies Alex could feel more than hear. The palace was a perfect blend of nature and technology, elegance and function. Lyra led him to a reception room where a small group of advisors awaited. Their expressions were serious, and Alex could feel the weight of their scrutiny. He realized that his actions outside the palace had already caused a stir. Being a stranger who saved the princess's life meant he was now under the watchful eyes of the entire court. "You are Alex," one of the advisors said, speaking in careful English. "The human who saved Princess Lyra. You have our gratitude, but you must understand, the princess's safety is of utmost importance." Alex nodded. "I understand. I only acted in the moment. I didn't think. I just did what I could." Lyra placed a gentle hand on his arm. "He is telling the truth," she said, her tone firm but kind. "His actions were courageous and without malice. That is enough for me." For the next few hours, Alex was introduced to the wonders of the palace. He saw archives filled with knowledge stored in holographic form, laboratories where alien scientists experimented with new energy sources, and galleries that showcased the art and history of Lyra's people. Through it all, he and Lyra shared small moments of humor and wonder. She was curious about Earth, about humans, about the strange customs he described. He was fascinated by her intelligence, her grace, and the subtle power she wielded simply by being herself. As the sun began to set outside, casting the palace in hues of gold and violet, Lyra led Alex to a balcony overlooking the city. The view took his breath away. From this height, the city seemed like a living organism, its towers and gardens pulsing with light. "You are different from other humans," Lyra said softly. "You do not rush, you do not judge, you see. That is rare." Alex looked at her, realizing how extraordinary this moment was. Here he was, a human far from home, standing beside an alien princess who had trusted him with her safety and invited him into her world. I guess I just try to do what feels right," he said quietly. Lyra smiled, and for the first time, Alex noticed a hint of amusement in her eyes. Perhaps that is enough. Perhaps that is what makes you remarkable. The evening air grew cooler, carrying scents of alien flora that Alex could not name. He felt a strange mixture of exhilaration and humility. This was only the beginning of his journey on this planet, and already he sensed that his life was about to change in ways he could never have imagined. As he prepared to leave for the night, Lyra handed him a small device. "For communication," she said. "If you ever need guidance or if danger arises, you will have a way to reach me." Alex accepted it with gratitude. "Thank you, I don't know how I can ever repay you for everything today." Lyra's smile was gentle, almost secretive. "You have already repaid me, by being yourself." That night, as Alex lay in his temporary quarters, he stared out at the alien city through a reinforced viewport. Lights shimmered and pulsed below, and he thought about the events of the day. He had saved a princess, entered a palace beyond his wildest imagination, and begun forming a connection with someone who was not just royalty, but a being from another world entirely. He knew that tomorrow would bring new challenges, new discoveries, and perhaps new dangers, but for now he allowed himself a rare moment of peace. He had survived the first test of this alien world, and he had done so with courage, intelligence, and an open heart. Somewhere deep inside, Alex knew that this encounter was more than coincidence. Something about Lyra, about the city, about this planet, felt like the beginning of a story that was far greater than he had ever imagined, and though he could not yet understand it, he felt ready to face whatever came next. The night sky above the city shimmered with distant stars, alien moons, and the promise of adventure. And somewhere in the quiet of that alien palace, a young princess smiled, thinking of the human who had entered her world and changed it, and her life, forever. The next morning, Alex woke to the soft hum of the palace, a sound unlike anything on Earth. It was mechanical yet organic, like the building itself breathed. Sunlight filtered through the translucent walls, casting delicate patterns on the floor. He rubbed his eyes and recalled the events of the previous day. The rescue, the introduction to Lyra, the palace tour. Every detail seemed surreal, yet he could feel the weight of reality in the form of his responsibilities. He had a role to play now, however small, in this alien city. A gentle chime sounded, signaling that someone wished to see him. Within moments, Lyra appeared at the doorway of his quarters. She was dressed in lighter robes today, more practical for walking and exploring than yesterday's formal attire. Her silver hair shimmered in the morning light, and her eyes held a mischievous sparkle. "Good morning, Alex," she said. "I hope you slept well," Alex smiled. "As well as I could, considering I'm in an alien palace on a completely unknown planet." Lyra laughed, a musical sound that made him forget the strangeness of the situation. "Come, I will show you our city beyond the palace. There are things you must see." They walked out into the city, stepping onto floating platforms that carried them above the streets. Alex marveled at how people moved effortlessly through the city, some floating independently, others using personal grav chairs. Everywhere he looked, technology blended with beauty, creating a sense of harmony that he had never experienced. "You will find our customs different," Lyra said as they moved along. "Some of them may seem strange to you," Alex nodded. "I've noticed a few already," he admitted. "Like the floating gardens and the bridges that move on their own." Lyra smiled. "Yes, and that is just the beginning. We value balance between effort and nature, between intellect and empathy. Humans are different, but perhaps you can adapt." Their first stop was the city market. Unlike Earth markets, it was calm and orderly, almost serene. Stalls floated in midair, displaying items that glimmered like liquid metal or pulsed with soft light. Aliens of various shapes and colors moved gracefully, interacting without rush or noise. Alex's eyes widened. "It's beautiful," Lyra nodded. "It is, but it is also dangerous if one does not follow the rules. Observe." A small incident quickly illustrated her point. A vendor was attempting to display a delicate item, a glowing crystal, but a young alien child reached out and touched it. The crystal floated up, threatening to shatter. In one smooth motion, Lyra intervened, catching it and gently placing it back on the stall. The vendor nodded in approval, and the child's parents smiled. "You handle situations calmly," Alex said. "I probably would have panicked." Lyra's expression softened. "Experience teaches calm, and observation teaches understanding. You are learning quickly, Alex." They continued exploring, and Alex began to notice small cultural quirks. Aliens greeted each other with subtle bows and hand gestures. Communication was often layered with meaning in tone, motion, and timing. Humans, he realized, were much more direct in comparison. At one point, Alex accidentally bumped into a display, causing a small metallic orb to roll away. He instinctively chased it, but Lyra stopped him. "Patience," she said calmly. "Rushing leads to mistakes. Observe first, then act." Alex took a deep breath and studied the orb's movement. Slowly, he extended his hand, and the orb floated back into place. Lyra's eyes twinkled. "See? Even in your mistakes, there is growth." As they walked deeper into the market, Alex felt a strange sense of connection to Lyra. She seemed to view him not as an outsider, but as someone capable of learning and understanding. For the first time since arriving on this planet, he felt less like a visitor and more like a participant in their world. Their exploration was interrupted by a sudden alarm. Red lights flashed across the market, and a low rumble shook the platforms. Alex instinctively grabbed Lyra's hand. "What is happening?" he asked, tension rising. Lyra's eyes narrowed. "It is a malfunction in one of our city's transport nodes. We must move quickly." They ran through the market, navigating floating bridges and levitating platforms. Alex struggled at first, unaccustomed to the alien movement, but Lyra guided him with calm precision. He began to trust her instincts as much as his own. They reached the node, and Alex realized the problem was worse than he expected. Several smaller transport orbs were colliding, threatening to fall into the streets below. Lyra examined the situation and gestured to Alex. "You are clever. Help me redirect these." Alex stepped forward using logic and quick thinking. He observed the orbs' movements, calculated their trajectories, and manipulated them with careful timing. The orbs responded, floating safely back into their paths. The crowd watched in awe as the human and the alien princess worked together seamlessly. When the danger passed, Lyra turned to him, her expression filled with admiration. "You're not only brave but quick to understand. Humans may indeed have potential beyond what we were told." Alex smiled, slightly embarrassed by the praise. "I just tried to do what made sense. And I had a good teacher." Lyra's eyes softened. "Perhaps, but not everyone would act as you did. You see not only the problem, but the people around it. That is rare." After the crisis, they walked to a quieter part of the city. Suspended gardens hung above a peaceful stream, and exotic birds with translucent wings glided between the trees. Alex took a deep breath, letting the calm wash over him. "Why do your people live in such balance with technology?" he asked. Lyra smiled. "Because we have learned that power without understanding leads to destruction. We must respect the world we live in and the lives around us. Your people do not always have this luxury, but perhaps you will learn." Alex thought about Earth, about humans racing to build, expand, and conquer. He realized the truth in her words. "I think we could learn from your ways," he admitted. Lyra nodded. "And we can learn from you. Your kind. Act with instinct and courage without overthinking. That is something we lack at times." They sat by the stream for a moment, enjoying the tranquility. Alex watched the sunlight glint off Lyra's hair, the reflection of the water playing across her face. Despite the differences between their worlds, he felt a connection he could not explain. "I never expected to meet a princess," he said, breaking the comfortable silence. Lyra laughed softly. "And I never expected to meet a human who would save me without hesitation." Their laughter echoed softly in the garden, a rare moment of pure simplicity amid the complexity of alien culture. As the day continued, Lyra decided to introduce Alex to more of the city's daily life. They visited the academy, where young aliens studied advanced sciences and arts. Alex was amazed at their focus, their discipline, and the depth of knowledge they already possessed. He shared a few human inventions and concepts, explaining them in simple terms. The students were fascinated, asking questions and testing ideas. "You teach well," Lyra remarked. "Perhaps humans could contribute more to our understanding than I imagined." Alex felt a surge of pride. "I just like to share what I know, and I learn a lot in return." By late afternoon, they visited the palace gardens again, where rare flowers and plants glowed faintly in the evening light. Alex noticed that Lyra seemed more relaxed here, away from the public eye and formal duties. "Do you ever worry about your people?" he asked gently. Lyra's expression grew serious. "Of course. The responsibilities of a princess are heavy. Every decision affects lives, and yet I cannot let fear control me. That is why I respect those who act with courage, even without knowing the outcome, like you did yesterday." Alex felt a strange warmth. "I was just trying to help. I didn't think about anything else." Lyra smiled, her eyes reflecting the soft glow of the gardens. "And that is why I trust you. You act with heart, and that is rare. Perhaps that is why we met." As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of purple and gold, Alex realized how much he had learned in just one day. He had navigated alien culture, helped solve a crisis, and discovered the depth of Lyra's wisdom and strength. More than that, he had begun to understand that connection, trust, and courage could transcend species, planets, and worlds. When they returned to the palace, Lyra offered him a simple bow. "You have done well today, Alex. I hope you will continue to learn and perhaps teach us in return." Alex bowed in return, feeling both humbled and honored. "I will do my best." That night, as he settled into his quarters, Alex reflected on the day. Every moment had been an adventure, a lesson, and a challenge. He had started to see the beauty in this alien world, not just its landscapes or technology, but its people, its culture, and the possibility of trust and friendship across worlds. For the first time, Alex felt a sense of belonging, however fragile it might be. He was no longer just a visitor on this strange planet. He was part of a story that was still unfolding, one filled with challenges, discoveries, and connections that could change both his life and the life of the princess forever. The next morning, Alex woke to a subtle vibration that ran through the palace. It was not an alarm or a warning. It was a gentle reminder that this city was alive in ways he had yet to understand. Outside, the skies were tinted with soft shades of blue and gold, reflecting the alien sun as it rose above the horizon. He dressed quickly, feeling anticipation rather than dread. Today he would see more of the city's wonders, and perhaps face challenges that would test him in ways the palace walls had not yet allowed. Lyra met him in the palace courtyard, her expression calm but purposeful. She wore a simple tunic and a utility sash that carried small devices and tools. "Alex," she said, "today we will visit the Central Energy Core. It powers the city, and the Council wishes for me to show you how it functions. It is a delicate system, but your insights may be helpful." Alex raised an eyebrow. "Delicate, huh? I've handled some tricky machines before, but nothing like this." Lyra's lips curved into a small smile. "You may be surprised." They walked together through the city, moving past floating platforms and glimmering gardens. The streets were alive with motion, yet the chaos one might expect on a busy planet was absent. Everything here had purpose, rhythm, and balance. Humans could learn much from this approach, Alex thought, especially about patience and observation. As they approached the energy core, a low hum grew stronger. The core was a massive structure, unlike any power system Alex had seen on Earth. It floated above the ground, pulsing with light and energy, surrounded by intricate circuits that extended in all directions like the roots of a giant tree. The air around it seemed to vibrate with potential, a gentle reminder that this was both fragile and immensely powerful. "This is the heart of our city," Lyra explained. "It provides energy to every home, every vehicle, every garden. Without it, life here would halt." Alex nodded, trying to absorb every detail. He studied the intricate energy conduits, noticing areas where the flow seemed irregular. "It looks stable, but there are some fluctuations here and here," he said, pointing to 2 junctions. Lyra's eyes widened slightly. "You see them?" "Most do not notice small variances. That may be useful." Suddenly, a low siren blared, louder than any Alex had heard before. Red lights flashed across the core's control panels. The conduits pulsed erratically, and Alex felt the subtle vibration intensify. "What's happening?" he asked, alarmed. Lyra's expression became serious. "A storm is approaching." "Not a normal one. This is an electromagnetic storm from the planet's upper atmosphere. It can overload the energy core if not managed correctly." Alex's mind raced. On Earth, power grids could fail under extreme conditions, causing blackouts or even explosions. The alien core, he realized, could be far worse if mismanaged. "What do you need me to do?" he asked. Lyra gestured to the panels. "We must redirect energy flow to prevent overload. The Council has protocols, but they are cautious. Your perspective may help us act faster." Alex approached the core, focusing on the flowing circuits. Using his experience with engineering and problem-solving, he began analyzing the energy patterns. The core's conduits reacted to his touch, adjusting their flow slightly, but not enough. He realized he had to work quickly and intuitively, combining human instinct with observation. "Lyra, we need to isolate the northern junction first," he said, pointing. "If the storm hits, it could cascade into the rest of the system. Can you stabilize that node while I adjust the flow?" Lyra nodded, moving with precision. Together they worked, the hum of the core growing louder, almost deafening. Alex's hands flew across controls he barely understood, relying on logic and intuition. Lyra's fingers danced across her panels, redirecting energy with elegant efficiency. Minutes felt like hours. Sparks flew in the distance as the storm began to descend, lightning streaking across the alien sky. The city trembled slightly, and Alex could feel the immense responsibility pressing down on him. One mistake, one wrong calculation, and the consequences could be catastrophic. "Alex," Lyra shouted over the roar of the storm. "We need to synchronize the secondary conduits." Now Alex's mind raced. He scanned the system, found the points she indicated, and worked rapidly. Slowly, the conduits began to respond. Energy flowed smoothly, pulsing in harmony with the core once again. The storm's first impact hit and the city held firm. Breathing heavily, Alex stepped back. "We did it," he said, feeling a mixture of relief and exhilaration. Lyra's face was radiant with admiration. "You are incredible. Not only brave, but capable of understanding systems that most of my people struggle with. You have saved the city." Alex shook his head, feeling both proud and humbled. "I just tried to do what made sense." "You guided me well." Lyra's eyes softened. "You did more than that. You acted when it mattered. That is rare." The storm passed gradually, leaving the city bathed in the glow of a setting sun. The citizens emerged from their homes looking toward the energy core, which now pulsed steadily and safely. The council approached, their expressions a mix of respect and amazement. "You have proven yourself, Alex. one of the advisors said. "Your actions have not only saved the city, but demonstrated the value of your human perspective." Alex nodded, still catching his breath. "I only did what I could. Your city is amazing, but your people are stronger than I imagined." Lyra took his hand gently. "And today I saw the courage and ingenuity of your kind. Perhaps we underestimated humans. Perhaps we need to learn more from you." The city celebrated quietly in their own alien way, with soft lights and flowing music, rather than loud explosions or fireworks. Alex found it calming, even beautiful. He realized that bravery was not always about fighting. It could also be about thinking clearly, acting decisively and caring for the lives of others. As they walked through the city streets afterward, Lyra explained the significance of what had happened. "The energy core is a symbol of our unity. By stabilizing it, you have not only protected the city but also shown that humans and aliens can work together." "That is a powerful statement." Alex smiled, humbled by the trust placed in him. "I hope I can continue to help in meaningful ways. I want to learn and I want to contribute." Lyra's eyes sparkled with curiosity and warmth. "You have already begun, and perhaps one day your presence here will mean even more than saving a city." Their bond, once based on circumstance, had deepened through shared challenge. Alex saw not just a princess but a leader who trusted him, respected his judgment, and valued his courage. Lyra saw not just a human, but someone capable of understanding her world, of contributing to it in ways her people had not imagined possible. As evening fell, they returned to the palace gardens. The soft glow of alien flora lit their path, and Alex felt a rare sense of peace. He realized that heroism was not only about daring acts but about empathy, understanding, and the willingness to act in the service of others. Lyra turned to him, her expression thoughtful. "Alex, today has shown me that humans are capable of much more than we believed. You have proven not only skill but heart. That is something we cannot teach, it is innate." Alex felt a surge of pride. "Thank you, Lyra. I only tried to do my best. I never expected recognition for it." Lyra smiled softly. "Perhaps that is why your actions are so meaningful. You act without expectation, and yet the results inspire trust and admiration. That is a rare gift." They sat in silence for a while, watching the stars appear above the city. The air was filled with the soft music of alien instruments and the gentle hum of the palace. Alex felt a connection growing, not just to Lyra, but to this entire world. He realized that human courage, ingenuity, and empathy could make a difference, even on a planet far from home. As night fell, Lyra led Alex to a quiet balcony overlooking the city. The lights shimmered below like a sea of stars. "Rest now," she said gently. "Tomorrow will bring new lessons and perhaps new challenges. But today, you have shown what it means to be brave, human, and true." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of the day and the significance of his role. "I will be ready," he said quietly. Lyra's eyes glimmered with admiration and perhaps something more, a recognition that beyond species, beyond worlds, connection and trust could flourish. "I believe you will be," she said softly. As Alex lay in his quarters that night, he reflected on the events of the day. He had faced a crisis unlike anything on Earth, acted decisively, and earned the trust and respect of a princess and her people. He had learned that courage could take many forms, and that the human spirit, when combined with intelligence and empathy, could thrive even in the most alien circumstances. For the first time, he felt that his presence on this planet was not an accident. He was here for a reason, and whatever awaited him in the coming days, he knew he had the strength, mind, and heart to face it. The city glowed softly beneath him, a testament to harmony, ingenuity, and resilience. And somewhere in the quiet of her palace, Lyra watched over the city she ruled, and the human who had proven himself worthy of trust and admiration. The day of the festival arrived with a sky painted in brilliant shades of orange and gold. The city was alive with excitement, though in a way unique to its people. There were no loud fireworks or frantic crowds. Instead, floating lanterns drifted gracefully through the streets, and soft melodic music flowed from instruments that seemed almost alive. Citizens moved with a calm energy, yet their joy was unmistakable. The festival celebrated not only the city's survival after the storm, but also the unity and resilience of its people. Alex followed Lyra through the streets, trying to absorb everything at once. There were stalls filled with exotic fruits that shimmered faintly, displays of flowing art that moved as if guided by the wind, and intricate performances where dancers glided effortlessly above the ground. Every detail seemed carefully crafted to celebrate beauty, intelligence, and culture. "You will find our festivals different from yours," Lyra said, her eyes sparkling with amusement. "We do not need noise or chaos to celebrate. Harmony is enough." Alex smiled. "It's beautiful." "Everything feels alive," Lyra nodded. "Yes, and today you are part of our story. The Council has invited you to participate in the ceremonies. They wish to honor your actions during the storm." Alex felt a mix of pride and nervousness. He had never imagined being celebrated in an alien city, much less by a princess. I don't know what to say." "Then say nothing," Lyra replied, smiling. "Actions speak louder than words. Follow me." They entered the central plaza where citizens had gathered in orderly rows. In the center, a platform floated slightly above the ground, decorated with glowing patterns and soft plants. The council members stood around it, their expressions serious yet filled with respect. Lyra led Alex onto the platform. "You have saved not only the city but also the lives of many," Lyra announced to the gathered crowd. "Today we honor this human, Alex, who has shown courage, intelligence, and kindness." The crowd responded with quiet applause, their hands moving in synchronized gestures rather than clapping. Alex felt a deep sense of humility. He had done what he thought was right, but this recognition was beyond anything he had expected. As the ceremony continued, Lyra presented Alex with a small, intricately carved token. It was shaped like a star within a circle, symbolizing protection and unity. "This is our gift to you," she said. "May it remind you of your connection to our city and to its people." Alex accepted it, his hands slightly trembling. "Thank you, Lyra. I don't know how to repay you for all your trust and guidance," Lyra smiled softly. "You have already given us much by being yourself. That is enough." The festival continued with performances that told stories of the city's history, its triumphs, and its challenges. Alex watched in awe as dancers moved with grace, their bodies floating above the ground, and musicians created harmonies that seemed to resonate with the very air. He realized that these celebrations were not just about victory, they were about connection, culture, and the joy of being part of something greater than oneself. After the formal ceremonies, Lyra took Alex to a quieter part of the plaza, where a smaller stage had been set up for personal tributes. Children approached Alex one by one, showing curiosity and admiration. Some held small gifts, others simply bowed respectfully. Alex felt a warmth in his chest that he had not expected. He had never imagined that humans could be welcomed in such a heartfelt way on another planet. "You see," Lyra said quietly, "your presence has touched many hearts. That is more than any machine or tool could accomplish." Alex looked at her, feeling a connection that went beyond friendship. I never expected any of this. I was just trying to help." Lyra's eyes softened. "And that is why it means so much. You act with courage and heart without expectation. That is rare." As the evening approached, Lyra suggested they take part in a traditional ritual of gratitude. Citizens formed a circle, and each participant offered a token of appreciation to someone they respected. Lyra handed Alex a small ribbon-like item, woven from glowing threads. "Give this to someone you wish to honor," she said. Alex looked around, realizing that this was not just a ceremony. It was a moment of connection and trust. He turned to Lyra and on impulse knelt down on one knee. In human tradition, this gesture often symbolized respect, gratitude, or even a proposal. Alex meant it as a gesture of honor and thanks, never imagining that it could be interpreted differently. "Lyra," he said, holding the ribbon carefully, "I wish to honor you for your guidance, trust, and courage. You have shown me more than I could have imagined about your world and your people. Please accept this not as a gift alone, but as a sign of my respect." The plaza fell silent. Citizens froze, watching the unusual gesture with wide eyes. Lyra blinked, her expression shifting from surprise to a soft, playful smile. "Wait, you are proposing to me?" she asked, her voice carrying both amusement and curiosity. Alex's eyes widened. "What, no?" Lyra laughed lightly, a musical sound that echoed through the plaza. "Oh, you humans are so direct, I see now. Your gesture is bold but unexpected." Alex scrambled to clarify. I didn't mean it like that, I wanted to show respect. The council members exchanged glances, whispering quietly among themselves. The citizens looked between Alex and Lyra, their expressions a mixture of curiosity, surprise, and delight. Alex felt his face grow hot. He had not intended to cause a misunderstanding, let alone in front of the entire city. Lyra placed a gentle hand on his shoulder, her smile reassuring. Calm yourself, Alex, I understand your intent. But here, gestures mean more than words. You have created a moment that will be remembered. Alex swallowed hard, trying to regain composure. I hope it wasn't a mistake. Lyra's eyes twinkled. No mistake, only a beginning. Perhaps your gesture will teach you something about our customs, just as our customs teach us something about you. The tension eased slightly, replaced by a sense of wonder. Alex realized that cross-cultural understanding was never simple, and even the most innocent actions could carry unintended meaning. Yet, in this moment, he felt a strange exhilaration. He had connected with the princess in a way that transcended words, and perhaps that connection would grow in time. The rest of the evening passed with gentle celebrations. Citizens returned to their homes, floating lanterns drifted into the sky, and soft music filled the air. Alex walked beside Lyra, still processing the events of the day. You handled that well, Lyra said softly. Most humans would have panicked, Alex chuckled nervously. I was panicking a little inside, but you made it feel okay. Lyra smiled, her eyes reflecting the glow of the lanterns. Perhaps it is not only what we do, but how we face our mistakes that matters. As they returned to the palace, Alex realized that the day had changed something inside him. He had faced public attention, cultural misunderstanding, and the weight of expectation, yet he had learned to act with humility and courage. He had also discovered that connection could be forged even across worlds and species. That night, as he lay in his quarters, Alex reflected on the festival and his gesture. He had not intended to propose, yet the experience had taught him more about the values of trust, respect, and communication. Lyra's playful acknowledgement of his act had turned what could have been an embarrassing mistake into a lesson in understanding and connection. He thought about the princess, her smile, and the way she had seen beyond his human gestures to the intent behind them. He realized that in this alien world, courage was not only about facing danger, it was also about honesty, openness, and the willingness to act with integrity, even when unsure of the outcome. Outside, the city glowed softly beneath the alien night sky. Stars shimmered in patterns Alex could not name, and the floating gardens and platforms reflected the soft light in a mesmerizing display. For the first time, he felt not like a visitor, but like a participant in the life of this world. Someone whose presence could matter, whose actions could resonate. Lyra appeared at the balcony shortly after, her figure outlined against the glowing city. Alex, she called softly, are you awake? He stepped onto the balcony beside her, looking out over the city. Yes, he said. I've been thinking. Today was more than I expected, Lyra nodded. Indeed. And tomorrow will bring more lessons, more experiences, and perhaps more opportunities for understanding. But remember this. What you did today, your courage, your heart, your intent, will be remembered. Alex looked at her, feeling a mixture of respect and admiration. I hope I can continue to live up to that. You already have, Lyra said, smiling. And that is only the beginning. As the night deepened and the alien city settled into quiet harmony, Alex felt a sense of purpose growing within him. He had faced misunderstanding, public attention, and unfamiliar customs, and he had survived with his dignity and tact. More importantly, he had built a connection with a princess who saw him as more than a human stranger. The festival had ended, but its lessons would stay with him forever. Courage, respect, and understanding could bridge worlds, even in the most unexpected ways. And as Alex looked at the stars, he knew that his journey on this alien planet, and his story with Lyra, was far from over. The morning after the festival, the palace was quiet, almost serene. Sunlight filtered through the translucent walls, casting soft patterns across the floors. Alex woke feeling both anticipation and nervousness. The events of the previous evening, the misunderstanding during the festival, still lingered in his mind. He had not intended to propose. His gesture had been one of respect and admiration, yet Lyra's playful reaction and the citizens' curiosity had turned it into something else entirely. Alex dressed quickly, rehearsing what he might say to clarify his intent. He found Lyra in the palace gardens, walking slowly among the softly glowing plants. Her expression was calm, thoughtful, yet there was a faint twinkle in her eyes that suggested amusement. "Good morning, Alex," she said softly. "You seem pensive." Alex took a deep breath. "I am about last night. I want to make sure there are no misunderstandings. I never meant to propose. I only wanted to show respect." Lyra smiled gently. "I understand. Humans have gestures that can carry different meanings. What matters is your intent, and I see it clearly. But your gesture, it created a moment. Moments are powerful. They teach, they inspire, and they connect." Alex nodded, feeling some relief but still aware of the delicate balance of customs in this world. "I just don't want to make mistakes that could upset anyone, or you." Lyra placed a hand on his shoulder. "You have done more than anyone expected. And mistakes are often the best teachers. You have learned quickly, Alex. That is what matters." They walked together through the gardens, the soft hum of the palace around them. Alex realized that this world was not only beautiful, but alive in ways he could scarcely understand. The plants seemed to respond to movement. The air carried gentle energy, and even the light felt deliberate and harmonious. He felt a growing respect for the way this city and its people lived in balance. As they approached the central plaza, Lyra gestured toward a group of children. They ran toward Alex, holding small glowing tokens. "They wish to thank you," she explained. "Your actions during the storm. They made an impression on everyone. Even the youngest citizens remember courage." Alex knelt to receive the tokens, feeling warmth in his chest. I didn't do it for thanks, but it means a lot that they care." Lyra's eyes softened. "And that is the human spirit, Alex. You act with heart and others notice. That is a lesson for us all." Later, they returned to Lyra's private chambers where the atmosphere was calm and relaxed. Lyra motioned for Alex to sit. "I wish to speak about last night in more detail. Not because there was a problem, but because it is important for us to understand each other fully." Alex nodded. "I want that too." Lyra smiled, her silver hair catching the light. "Your gesture, kneeling and offering the ribbon, was interpreted as a proposal. In human tradition, it is a symbol of respect, commitment, and honor. In our culture, gestures are equally significant. They communicate trust, admiration, and sometimes the beginnings of connection." Alex swallowed. "I see. I didn't mean it as a proposal, I swear. I only wanted to honor you and the guidance you've given me." Lyra's eyes twinkled. "I understand your intent. And perhaps the misunderstanding is a gift. It allows us to reflect on the meaning of our actions. You see, gestures, words, and actions are never simple. They carry weight, and sometimes that weight creates understanding beyond what we plan." Alex considered her words, realizing the depth of the lesson. "So, you're not upset?" Lyra laughed softly. "Upset? No, I'm intrigued. Your human ways are bold, sometimes clumsy, but always sincere. That is refreshing." Alex felt a mixture of relief and admiration. "I will do my best to learn. I want to understand your world, and I want to honor it without causing more confusion." Lyra nodded. "And that is why I trust you. You act with sincerity, thought, and courage. Those qualities matter far more than perfection." The rest of the day passed with quiet exploration and conversation. Lyra showed Alex more of the palace's hidden libraries and archives, places filled with knowledge and histories of her people. Alex marveled at the advanced understanding of science, art, and philosophy. He asked questions, shared human ideas, and learned more than he ever could have imagined. In the evening, Lyra led Alex to a balcony overlooking the city. The stars above were bright, and the floating gardens below glowed softly. The city had returned to its peaceful rhythm after the festival, the energy of celebration replaced by calm harmony. "Alex," Lyra said gently, "what you did yesterday, even by accident, has shown me something important. Humans are capable of connection that is direct, sincere, and brave. You do not hide your intent, and yet you act with consideration. That is rare." Alex looked at her, feeling a deep respect and admiration. "I never imagined I could learn so much, or be part of something so extraordinary." Lyra smiled, her eyes reflecting the soft glow of the city. "And you are only beginning. There is much more to learn, much more to experience. But today, you have taken a step that few outsiders could take. You are part of our story now." Alex felt a warmth in his chest, a mix of pride, connection, and humility. I will continue to do my best. I promise. Lyra reached out, placing her hand lightly on his. And that is all I ask. Actions, courage, and heart, those are what matter. You have both in abundance. As the night deepened, the two sat in silence, watching the city below. Alex reflected on his journey. From an outsider arriving on an alien world to someone who had earned trust, admiration, and connection. He realized that courage, understanding, and respect could bridge worlds, and that human qualities had a place even in the most advanced alien societies. The next morning, Lyra requested a private audience with the council. Alex accompanied her, his presence a testament to trust and collaboration. The council members greeted him warmly, acknowledging his contributions during the storm and his role in building understanding between humans and their people. You have proven that humans are capable of great courage and insight, Lyra addressed the council. Alex has shown us not only skill but heart. That is the foundation of trust, and trust is the foundation of unity. The council nodded in agreement. One elder spoke. Perhaps humans have potential beyond what we imagined. Their perspective can teach us as much as we teach them. Alex felt humbled yet proud. He realized that heroism was not about personal glory. It was about making a difference even in unfamiliar circumstances. After the meeting, Lyra turned to him. Alex, yesterday's misunderstanding is behind us, but it has opened a path for deeper connection. Your courage, sincerity, and heart have made a lasting impression. Perhaps, in time, that path will lead to something more. Alex smiled, feeling a mix of hope and uncertainty. I look forward to learning, experiencing, and being part of this world, whatever comes. Lyra's eyes softened. And that is why you are valued, not because of gestures, titles, or status, but because of who you are. Courage, heart, and sincerity, qualities that transcend worlds. That evening, Alex stood on the balcony once more, watching the city glow beneath the alien stars. He reflected on the lessons he had learned. Courage was as much about thought and understanding as it was about action. Mistakes could teach more than success, and connection could bridge even the vastest differences. Lyra joined him, her presence calm and reassuring. Alex, she said softly, today you have not only understood our world but have begun to shape it in your own way. That is something remarkable. Alex looked at her, feeling a quiet determination. I will continue to do my best. I want to help, to learn, and to honor the trust you and your people have placed in me. Lyra smiled, a quiet warmth in her expression. Then you are already succeeding. And perhaps, one day your journey will lead to bonds deeper than friendship, connections that span worlds and hearts alike. Alex felt a surge of hope and excitement. He knew the path ahead would be full of challenges, but he also knew that with courage, heart, and sincerity, he could face anything. And with Lyra by his side, guidance and trust, he realized that even the most alien world could feel like home. As the night embraced the city, Alex and Lyra stood together, looking out over a world alive with beauty, harmony, and potential. They were two beings from different worlds, yet connected by respect, courage, and the quiet power of understanding. And in that moment, Alex knew that this was only the beginning of a story that would grow, evolve, and inspire both humans and aliens alike. A story of heroism, friendship, and the courage to cross the boundaries of worlds and hearts.